What's the point of entering a marriage that there's deceit already from the onset? I don't get it. Like, how do you expect your prayers to be? Just got married and you don't want to have kids. Well, that will not be an issue if there was a discussion before the marriage. Or is it a case of you just got married and you're thinking about it that, oh my God, let's not have kids now, let's have kids later. Your later definition, I hope you've also discussed it with your significant other, your partner, before this particular moment. Hi people, how are you all doing? It's another day on UNCUT. Now you got married and you don't want to have kids. Well, that's not going to be an issue if there has always been a discussion about it during the courtship. And guess what? Let me tell you, even when there has been a discussion about it during the courtship, there is a very high chance that any of the both parties can change their mind. Yes, because let me tell you, human beings are dynamic. You did not cast anything on stone. And even if you casted anything on stone, maybe you did, except you did jazz or juju or something. Okay, now let's. If you got married and you don't want to have kids, the best thing to have that would have happened before the time you got married or before the time you made that decision is that you would have had that discussion with your spouse. Now, probably during the courtship or during the dating, you guys have sat down and you guys have had the discussion that, okay, babe, I don't think I want to have kids, and maybe we can adopt, or I don't even want to have anything to do with kids, or maybe I don't even want to carry kids, or that kind of stuff. Yeah, some things that you don't bring out inside marriage. Like, what I mean is that there are some things that you don't just take those kind of decisions. These decisions are hefty, and let me tell you why these decisions are hefty. Because somebody will say and say like, but it's not bad, it's just person's choice. If person wants to have kids or not, it's their choice, blah 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 blah. No, let it not be that you deceived that person into getting married to you, but you knew right from the onset that you were not going to have kids, or you did not want to have kids. Because nowadays people do a lot of things, like, and I'll just be wondering in my mind, like, is this not unfair? Like, can't this party see that this thing is unfair? You go maybe put stuff so that I heard of one that the lady did some family planning method and she didn't tell her husband, and they were praying about it. Lord, the husband was like, God, please, I want you to give me children. I want you to give me children. And the lady was still praying with him. Meanwhile, she knew that she did something. Like, please tell me, is this not full-blown deceit? Like, is this not full-blown deceit? But now that's not the matter, because everybody has their body, has their choices. But let it be that in making your choice, you tell the other party that this is what you have made up your mind about. Because let me tell you, it's not just about you and your husband. You are marrying into a family. Your family needs to also understand that, well, whichever of the family, like maybe from the guy's side, the guy, if he's aware of it, he can communicate it very well to the parents. Because parents, like we all know, they always look forward to having grandkids and having great grandkids and all that, and you're not in the right to deprive them of that. So if that is not your cup of tea, and you've not discussed it with your spouse, and you just want to enter into the marriage and cover up and feel like there's nothing, no, I think, sis, there's something so wrong. Or even you, if you're a guy or a brother and you know that there something has been diagnosed about you, I think it's important that you communicate it to your significant other. Because, like, what's the point of entering a marriage that there's deceit already from the onset? I don't get it. Like, how do you expect your prayers to be answered when God knows that you are going to be deceiving somebody's child? It doesn't work that way. In fact, I heard of one. Okay, let me tell you. That's why I'm always saying that you need to be very careful and know God for yourself. Because when you don't know God for yourself, you can actually be deceived. I heard of a story where a lady said that a man came to meet her and was like, God said you are my wife. Okay, she's like, are you sure that God said I'm your wife? She said, yes, God said I'm your wife. But funny enough, that lady has already entered into menopause. And it was into the marriage that it was later spoken of that she was already in a menopause and she cannot have kids anymore, and the man packed his load and left. Now there are two things about it. The both parties have their problem. That's what I'm going to say. The both parties have their problem. One, saying that God said, because for the lady's side, her defense was that if you said God said that you are to marry me, that means God has the capability of taking care of this menopause issue that I am facing, right? Which I agree with her. If God was really the one that sent you to that particular person, that means of a truth he has a solution to that problem. And on the lady's side, I also expected that she should have opened up to saying that I am currently in my menopause, so please just be aware and all that. But anyway, short and long of the story is that please, anything you want to do that has to do with parties, extra parties, and multiple parties, it's important that you also speak about it before the marriage. Please don't enter into the marriage and feel that everything will be fine, because these are some things that cause trouble, commotion, and all the rest that people have to start now doing. In fact, just talk about it. Short and long of the story. Till I see you tomorrow. Cheers.